You're listening to the Last Real Heroes. You're listening to
Ladies and gentlemen, Mark the Trick, sit on your ass and listen to this. It's the Last Real Hills podcast. I'm Urban Heretic 187 at URBANHARETIC 187. And to my left, Eric Van Wagenen.
I'm on your left or you're on my left?
Oh wait, we're not doing video. It's usually reversed. And to my left, J-Man.
Hey, man. You still got it, kid. You still got it.
Yeah, still got the botches and all.
Yeah, man, it's the first time we went audio only in a little while. Trying to build up a YouTube following, trying to get some ducats in our pocket. Try to get on that MMMMM show level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Selling t-shirts out their ass.
Mark shirts.
Goddamn Marks.
Yeah.
They really? They make some money on those t-shirts?
He's like, he's surprised. He's like, who bought that shit?
It's all in the DM that will be published at a later date. I'm sure it's...
Yeah, there's enough incriminating evidence in the DM that it contains us and the three hosts from that show to ruin everybody.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Maybe even you.
Yeah, believe me, probably. There's enough in this room right now to ruin me.
Oh, shit.
Man, don't talk about me like that.
We're off location, Nashville.
Parts unknown.
Yeah, parts unknown, Nashville, Newton area.
Nashville, Illinois.
Yeah, we got some big things to do today. This is the first time we've had a guest in a while. This is the first time we've had a guest. Who was our last guest? It's been
B?
over. You?
B?
Famous B?
Famous B, I think.
When did he lives out here, doesn't he?
I don't think so.
Or is he from here? No.
I don't know. His number is a Memphis
Yeah,
number.
that's right, yeah.
I don't know
He
what
might.
the deal is.
I don't know.
I think we asked him. He's been on our show 3 times.
In person.
No, never in person.
Oh, okay.
You're our first like Lucha Underground in person interview. We had some of the boys from around here in person, of course, but
Yeah.
I think you're the first person.
Well, you interviewed that other Urban that one time.
Vinny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit's funny. It's on the fucking YouTube, man.
Yeah. It's been on there for a
It's
while.
youtube.com/lastrealhills.
I'm trying to build up some subscribers, man. We were doing our Podomatic forever. That was our thing. But yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of things today. Lucha Underground, UFC, Celebrity Apprentice, all the details. I know everybody's got a lot of questions. We got some Twitter questions.
All right.
Yeah, there's
Bring 'em.
There's all kinds of stuff, man. We'll start with some Lucha Underground though. It's on Netflix. We haven't talked to you since it's been on Netflix. How does that feel, man?
It's cool. I gotta say, I have a DirecTV and I watched it on El Rey, but El Rey doesn't have a high definition feed. So, for people who have seen it on El Rey and want to see it in high definition, Netflix is definitely. It's cool to go back and see certain episodes. Especially the vignettes, because the vignettes, we spent a lot of time sort of color correcting them and adding a lot of production value, and so then to go back and see a more pure representation of that work on the HD signal, it's fun to go back and see them again.
Grave consequences.
Definitely, it's fun to go back and see the Heels run Hernandez out of Lucha Underground.
Oh, that's right. Got your shit in.
In the Believers Backlash. We ran him out, man.
I'm still mad they edited out me chasing him up the stairs, whipping his ass. But that's okay.
We need some B-sides, man. I think you need to come out with a Blu-ray, and it needs to have all the LRH exclusive extras of us acting ridiculous in the crowd. All the great moments you've had.
I know they captured the flask. They had to have captured the flask.
I don't know. Did you guys almost got 86 that time, right?
I never got almost 86.
Well, I think what happened was we like kind of caused some friction, and then someone else got 86 for being with us pretty much.
I'm trying to remember who that was. I won't name names, but somebody got kicked out for.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Counting crows.
Security violations.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man, now I'm gonna remember that nickname. That's gonna be good.
That was Vampiro. He gave that to him.
Oh,
On the commentary.
He couldn't have liked that.
Yeah, I still bring it
I don't know,
up.
that guy's really successful, man. That guy's living off residuals. He's probably doing pretty well. The Counting Crows guy.
Oh, the Counting Crew? Yeah, I'm sure he's got plenty of money.
Their songs are everywhere, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back and reliving the episode, that's definitely great. And what about the UK feed? The UK people are fucking rabid, man.
I don't know if it's been sold in the UK yet. I think it's for the Netflix. It's just North America, so that's United States, Canada, and Mexico, I believe. And in Latin America, it's North America and Latin America. That's where the Netflix deal is. I think you can see the Spanish versions too.
Spanish commentary.
Well, we did. I don't know if people remember, but we did a Spanish only version that aired on a broadcast channel. Unimos, and we had all the vignettes. We shot them in Spanish, and we remember. I don't know if you guys remember season 1. Melissa would get up and do her announcement in English, and then she would do it in Spanish.
Yeah.
And Dario would come out and cut his promos in English and Spanish. And anyone who could do it both ways, they would always do it both ways. And then in editing, we would make either the Spanish version or the American version. So I think I thought I was under the impression that you could go back and watch, even in North America, the Spanish versions, but I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't seen it.
I haven't checked. I've just been watching the English
I tried
stuff.
to get Spanish commentary that one time, but I didn't get that. I think it was on season 2.
Because Hugo, actually, if you're bilingual, it'd be great. You can back watch the Hugo season, because his commentating is, dramatically different in style and content than Stryker.
Yeah.
So people love Hugo. Hugo's a great guy. I wish we were still doing the 2 versions so that
Gives me a reason to pick up Rosetta Stone again.
The legendary Hugo Savanovich.
Yes.
Legendary, man.
Yeah, good guy.
But yeah, so UK feed, so you don't know anything about potential, because seriously, man, that's one thing that's the most asked question.
You
I
think?
feel like.
UK, right?
Yeah, the UK guys, man. I don't know if it's just one guy just repeatedly.
Right.
We've had several.
I know we've had several, but like the Reaper, the Meatloaf is crazy.
Yeah, he loves.
He
loves Phantasmo.
Yeah, he's good. I see him around a lot, asking questions and stuff. But for what I would say is that the first deal that they try to make is through MGM, and I think they've been trying to get on a channel in the UK. I mean, you got to have a buyer. So, wrestling is sort of a niche product, and there's a lot of probably networks that don't know if it'll draw or not, especially when it's Lucha Libre, which I understand is pretty hot in Europe. That style is sort of doing a lot, and I know our guys work over there a lot, but. You need a buyer, and if it doesn't work out for a broadcast channel, then they need to make a Netflix deal. And I say this on every one of these things we do it, but these are huge companies that are partners on this, and to get everybody to agree at the same time and on the same price and for the same rights and the same deal, that takes about 3 times as long as it normally would take. But working with MGM is a privilege. It's great to have that kind of a big company, the strength of that behind you. So
yeah, that's definitely big money.
Yeah,
that's definitely big business.
Mark Burnett, man, he knows what he's doing.
So how much do they have involved really with the company? Not much at all, or
the MGM?
Yeah.
They don't get too involved. I mean, I would say that their biggest involvement is from the lawyer side. When you come to the taping and the lawyers read that disclaimer and they make you sign and they check your shirts, those are all MGM lawyers. So that they're sort of more on the business affairs side of things, the contracts and things like that. But creatively, Mark pretty much just kind of hands over. He gives us a lot of trust to do sort of what we want to do. And then Robert, has probably, I would say Robert has a more direct one-on-one influence in the creative more than Mark Burnett, I would say.
Does he watch the show regularly? Or
Robert does. Robert, yeah.
Who's his favorite? Do you know who his favorite is?
I think I know who. I got. If I say this, then that person's going to come ask me for a raise tomorrow.
Oh God, it's the heels, isn't it? He's like, can we get a raise? Those rednecks in the front row.
I want to say Pentagon is his guy, and it would make perfect sense because he likes sort of that dark aesthetic and the edginess of Pentagon.
When's he gonna branch out into a Lucha Underground like TV show, like this like the origin or history of the character or something? I needs to jump on it.
There's always been talk of a movie, an origin story movie, and then have Skip direct it. So
he's amazing.
And let the whole thing look like what Skip does. And Skip is actually employed by the El Rey Network. He's sort of the head of creative for over all of El Rey. So the fact that we get as much time and love from Skip is really great. And Skip takes a pass at every vignette. He goes. Yeah. We do a first pass. Our editors do a great job usually on the first pass, and then Skip will take it home and he'll color it like at night, and he'll just send it back in the morning, and it'll have a few edit changes and a couple color corrections and things like that, and then that's what goes to online. We just go straight into online after that, and that's how we put the show together. But Skip is a big creative influence on the show, and he works very closely with Robert.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. I know he does a lot of good work there. You said Pentagon. You mentioned him about the favorite. So what's his situation like? I know you've been asked this a million times. I don't know if you had any new info or light you could shed on him. And really, Phoenix and Jack Evans, they're all kind of in this limbo.
Yeah, I mean, there's been sort of a very kind of public. So I don't know what you would call it. I wouldn't call it necessarily a fight, but there's sort of been a public separation of some of those guys from AAA, and. I had lunch with Pentagon a week ago, literally last Thursday.
Wow.
And we talked about...
It's huge news.
Yeah, we talked about... we sat and we discussed the season. We discussed what he's doing now. We discussed what he wants to do. From everything he told me, he is a Lucha Underground guy, and he will be back in the taping. We have every intention on using him season 4 and beyond. I mean, we do whatever his contractual status is with AAA and Dorian is different than his contractual status with Lucha Underground. All of the people who appear on Lucha Underground are under contract, under American contracts, and they can't appear on U.S. television unless it's on Lucha Underground. So we have that deal with them. Clearly there's overlap between AAA and Lucha Underground. That's definitely there, but I think for us to effectively do a television show, and I think everybody, even the partners, would agree on it, there's a certain amount of autonomy that the TV show has to have, because it is run separately. The television show falls under Mark Burnett and MGM, whereas AAA, the promotion, does not. So the standards are always going to be a little bit different. The business affairs standards, the legal standards, all that. And so the show has to operate as independently as possible. And so when these things come up between, wrestlers and AAA or Dorian or whatever, and look, anyone who's been around and seen the wrestling business work for long enough realizes that these, quote unquote fights don't always last.
Oh yeah,
there's usually a handshake at the end of it, and they can all work together. And when there's business to be done, people figure out how to work together. But I have to ask myself all the time, regardless of what's going on with AAA, what's best for the TV show Lucha Underground. And sometimes that comes in conflict with what's best for AAA, but we try not to let it. But ultimately, I have to say whatever is best for the television program Lucha Underground is the decision that I have to make. And right now, for us, what's best for Lucha Underground is to keep a working relationship with Pentagon and keep him on the show.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man.
And same with Jack and whomever else. I mean, we're getting into that sort of phase in the life cycle of a TV show where there's always some turnaround and there's always some fallout, and that's kind of normal, and I think we're sort of prepared for that. And we've never really built the show around one person in particular. I mean, some people would say, we built the first season around Puma. It's probably accurate, but we always had John, and we always had Mill, and we had Phoenix, and we had Pentagon. We always had a very strong cast of characters that were not B characters, they were A characters. And so when the focus would shift away from Puma, you didn't feel like, God, how long till Puma comes back? It was always like, oh, I'm glad they're featuring this story now for a while. So it's an ensemble cast is sort of how we look at it. And week to week, you're gonna get different. That's sort of always sometimes the complaint is they don't feel like they get enough of certain characters. And that's, I think, actually a good thing. It's always good to leave them wanting more, right?
Yeah, that's what we've always enjoyed about the show. The hour format, and then you don't see everybody every week, and anybody could always win at any time. That's one thing that I always enjoyed too. I remember when I used to kind of be on the fence about it, but when Phoenix beat Puma after Puma been on this huge roll in season 1, I think that's how it happened.
Something like that. Yeah,
I was just amazed, because I didn't expect that to happen, because Puma had been pushed as like the dude for a little while,
Yeah, and you get some blowback for that once in a while. People think that they're bad booking decisions and whatnot, and look, one of the great things about the business is the sports debate,
Yeah.
And there's podcasts that do it all day long, and then they can, people make money off of sports debate and off of analysis, these kind of decisions. And so look,
We're doing it wrong, I think.
I don't know if it's because we hate every other podcast so much that we have this aura of contempt that people are like, man, we need to support those guys. They've gone off the deep end.
Yeah.
Think about the hatred. We hate all the other podcasts.
You hate all of them?
I think so.
Who's like who? I mean, I listen to you guys. I listen to the MMM show. I hear.
I don't technically hate the MMM show.
No, those guys are cool. You guys like those guys.
Allegedly.
It's all the work. This is all fake heat.
I think the Twitwow heat is genuine.
Oh yeah, but you guys don't. What is up with the Twitwow and you guys?
Man. Dude,
it started with him, and I just jumped in because
they spoiled.
You got to stand by your man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mundo, didn't he win the belt? Isn't that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, they spoiled? No, they didn't spoil that.
They spoiled it. I didn't have a way to watch it at the time,
and they tagged him.
Oh.
They tagged me in it.
Oh, I got
it. I was already having a bad day. I was at work, and it was a shitty day.
And that's when you coined the term "shit wow."
Yeah.
Oh, those poor guys, John and Ashton. Sorry, guys.
Man. And that's what it was. And I was so pissed off about that. You could apologize. I mean.
That was an epic reaction when from John when Mundo won the belt, and that was something else. I had to go back and listen to that again.
We no showed the triple review of Ultima Lucha Dos with Twitwow and Facelock people. We no showed that.
Pretty good at doing stuff.
Yeah, that's our thing though. I think
just scheduling yourself.
Just to get right there, and then just fall down like 10 or 12 steps.
Almost turn that corner and then just completely.
That's what we do.
That's the heels. That's what makes you heels, right?
Woo! Woo! Sweetwater, man. There's so many empty Sweetwaters on this table. There's actually only like 3, but
There's a lot in the trash can. Yes,
Yeah.
this is my only second time in Nashville, but the first time I've been turned on to the Sweetwater IPA. Thanks to you guys.
Man,
So,
it's good beer.
It's good, yeah.
Smooth.
I'm glad they gave us a case for free.
They got that sponsorship deal came through, huh?
Yeah, finally. We need to go back down there.
Yeah.
So they'd give us free beer when we come back down there.
Oh, where are they?
Atlanta,
Georgia.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's only like 6 hours.
4 hours.
4 hours. The last guy that drove us though, man, he was the worst driver. It was like we got this guy. We didn't like pay him or anything. We just tricked him into driving. So hey man, we'll give you a beer. And he went and he was terrible. He just bitched the whole time.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know,
He
man.
took my 6-pack.
And then he took Urban's 6-pack. He was like, I thought y'all were gonna give me some beer. And Urban was like, I'll give you a different 6-pack, but this is the free 6-pack I got. So it was principle. The guy didn't get it. Then they got mad at each other.
Never touch another man's Sweetwater.
Urban fired him.
I fired him.
Wow.
We got off on a little tangent. though.
Yeah.
Had to. Tangent.
But yeah, so you said we were talking about the booking and stuff. What if there was one thing that you could change in the past 2 seasons, seasons 1 and 2? What would it be if you could change it, or if anything?
I mean, I would have liked it if Eva Lise hadn't broken her foot. That would have been good.
Yeah.
The injuries are though always the thing. I might have a criticism or two of how something turns out, but you never know going into it. I mean,
Yeah.
Sometimes it looks good on paper. Then when you look on it on tape, you say, "Oh, that didn't really work." But
Is there any one thing that sticks out for you? He's not throwing anybody under the bus.
I'm not throwing anyone under the bus on this one.
Oh, man.
I think you can't spend too much time worrying about it. If something doesn't work, you change it, and that's the beauty of this format is that you can change it from week to week if you think it's. Although I will say this, once you shoot it, you have to live with it.
Yeah.
And it's not like a weekly show that's live where you can write something the next week. Sometimes you're gonna have to live with it for a while. So, but that's okay. I mean, nobody. I wouldn't expect that we would be hitting 100, 1,000 every time. You're gonna have some swings and misses, and that's okay.
I wouldn't necessarily call them misses, but the only 2 things, the things that I would have really liked Sexy Star to win a belt season 1. I don't know.
Season 1.
Yeah, I don't know why. Just because, that was one of the biggest things that everybody was focused on when you first came out.
But didn't she get the gift of the gods at the end of season 1?
Phoenix got it at the end of season 1.
Oh, that's right. And then he dropped it.
She was in the match. That was the one where her and Bengala were tanked at the end of the match, and they were hurt.
Bengala was on air. Oxygen.
Oh, God, that's right. I forgot about that. Bengala wasn't in shape that day, I don't think. Yeah.
A little too much catnip. Is there any update on season 4? Any update? Because there's a lot of people asking about that too. And
I mean, obviously we are waiting the official announcement from El Rey Network, but we're all planning on it. I mean, we're all sort of I am anyway. I'm planning on being starting work on that probably in the summer, with taping to be in the fall. I mean, we would probably ideally like to start taping earlier, but
it's hot in that place in the summer.
Yeah, it's too hot.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys were there on a couple of those. I don't remember which days you were there.
I
but
was fine.
I've been to 5 shows.
The dude. Oh my God, it's not that hot.
No, that place gets
Oh yeah, inside the
Inside.
temple is ridiculous. Everybody's
Yeah.
sweating and it's all.
it gets pretty gross.
I don't remember
Yeah.
which ones were taped in the summer, but some of those were brutal.
Yeah, we even had like equipment was dropping out because it got so hot in there,
Yeah.
and we were bringing the air conditioning, and it maybe cooled it down 2 or 3 degrees. I mean, it just really didn't help much at all.
It helped me because it was blowing right on me.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was cold.
Yeah, so
It was good.
You always take a risk in September that you get one of those LA September heat waves, and we could be back in there. When we shot the first season, I remember I think September 6th was our first shoot date.
Yeah.
And we taped I think a couple weekends in a row, and it was blazing hot on all of them. I mean, it was brutal.
That was one of the few times that I actually read Lucha Underground spoilers when you first taped.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I wanted to figure out what you guys were doing, because I was out here. Because we talked about it before it came out, because I was very interested, because I knew that Johnny Mundo was involved. And, from reading, press and shit like that. So I read those spoilers, and I was like, I gotta check this shit out.
It's weird to see those early episodes. I mean, it's kind of, in a lot of ways, it's really fun to see the evolution. What we were focusing on then versus what we focus on now, some of the creative decision making and just the look. We were still messing. We had a different director for the first 10 episodes than we did since then, and we made a lot of sort of creative changes as we went. And with this, and so it's strange to go back and look at where we started, and you start to notice little tweaks. Like we went through a phase where it was like there was smoke everywhere. I mean, it was like incredibly smoky. Everything was smoky. There was pitch black. It was dark, whatever. And then it kind of swings back and forth in a couple directions, and then settles in where we are now. But it's the evolution of the show over the first couple seasons.
So I mean, definitely, we've seen the show grow, and we've seen everything, get refined and perfected in some areas, and then as it grows, there's other things that happen, and so on and so forth. When season 4 comes back, is there any idea about I know several people have asked me about this, the tickets and so on, about getting those a better solution for, because some people are camping because it's so people want to be there so fucking bad, they're camping out, literally tents in the fucking streets.
Yeah, and
to be there.
Ridiculous.
It is tents in the streets. It's
no
joke.
It is. It's tent city right there on Anderson, and it's a hard thing because the fans are so passionate about it, which is what makes it great. But at the same time, people would start lining up at 7, 8 in the morning initially.
We were the
first ones.
We
to do
started that, and I think you tweeted a picture.
Guys. Yeah.
We were just hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, it was us,
everybody wanted to
Casey.
meet us. So
It was us and Casey and J Ray, and you tweeted a picture of the Lucha Clicks here bright and early.
Yeah.
That was
And then maybe
Ultima
I encouraged
Lucha.
it.
No, that was season 2 first taping. The first taping.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. And so we thought, okay, well, let's do because what we noticed is people, if they've been out there 12 hours in the sun, they finally get inside and they're dead. They're tired. Their energy's, they've been out there partaking in whatever it is they partake in, and we had people dropping out. We literally had people falling asleep in the crowd because they're so tired. So we
I've seen it.
it didn't happen to me.
So then what we did is we did these the bracelet thing, or we get a ticket, a reservation that you could get starting at 9, thinking that would keep people from lining up because you can just come back. But then people were lining up to get the reservation, and they were lining up even earlier. So they were midnight, 1 in the morning. People are lining up to get a ticket at 9 o'clock for a show that starts at 4. So it's turned into
intense,
this 24 hours.
I was there at 4 a.m. for
there's literally, it's everybody. Everybody you see on Twitter that goes to the temple, they all get out there pretty early, pretty much. And somebody will show up at 7, and they'll be like, "Fuck," because they'll see this enormous line. And because I think I rolled up there at 7, and he had already been there since 4 in the morning, so we were good. And I walked up to him, and I was just like, man, this is crazy, because they're all the way around the fence. And
there's always people I usually get in somewhere between 9 and 10 on tape days, and there's always a line.
Yeah,
that's around the corner.
Big difference from
when we first
Ultima
came.
Lucha. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's just just blew up.
It's because
I imagine after people have had a chance to see it on Netflix, for the next couple of months before we tape, it'll start all over again for season 4. It'll be a new group of people.
Yeah, I figure it's going to be like an influx because, I've seen a lot of new people talking about it because, I look just at the hashtag and, just search Lucha Underground and so on. So the Lucha Click, everything related to it. And I see a lot of new people starting to talk about it because of the Netflix.
Yeah.
Sell tours. With the Hills. It's getting paid.
Spoken word tour.
Yeah.
And I think, that's part of the reason why Dorian's role has increased lately, because that exact reason. We don't have anybody on the TV show side that really is too familiar with touring. So I think that with Dorian in that new role, that the emphasis will sort of start doing things that are more traditional wrestling promotion. So see.
I was talking about us doing tours, like around the temple.
You're doing the tour.
Tour everybody.
Yeah, you guys could do that. You'd be like a tour guide, like I had at Sun Records yesterday.
I feel like if you ever have a temple host, I feel like it's got to be us. Just don't have us throw the shirts out, man. Because last time y'all gave me shirts,
I'll throw shirts out.
Give them to him or give them to my wife or something. Last time I did the shirt, I threw it into the fucking rafters.
Oh yeah,
that was a test, wasn't it? I failed the test.
Yeah,
they were like, man, this guy. They were like, how are we gonna have a hype man that throws the shirts into
Maybe
the fucking
you could
cameras?
do the.
What if he knocks the camera off? How much money is that? It's $20 shirt and $12,000 camera.
You got insurance for that. You could maybe do the legal disclaimer.
Yeah.
You can get up there and talk about bodily fluids.
I think people would like that.
If you don't enjoy them, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Exactly, man. But so season 4. So yeah, I understand. You got to work it out, but so no really ticket plan yet. I don't know if there's.
I don't know what
would the solution would be.
I'd be open for suggestions.
The only thing that I've thought about is whenever they email is like email back with their number, like their their reservation number. Like send that in their email. That's the only thing that I've thought about.
Spot in line.
Yeah, that would be your spot in line.
Your spot in line. Okay. Yeah, that'd actually
be a true line. You could tell the actual.
Yeah. Like literally just by person that sent in.
Whoever got in first.
That's the only thing that I thought would be pretty decent, but.
That's actually not a bad idea.
But I don't know exactly.
You have to see what Josie thinks. Because Josie and Amanda are the ones who handle that. I mean, we have such a tiny little staff.
Yeah, and we know most of them.
Yeah,
from being there.
Yeah, and so I don't know if that would create a lot of extra work for her at the time.
Yeah,
we have more help on the tape days than they do during the week. Like during the week, most people aren't really working on the show. It's kind of a weekend gig for most of the people. So. When they put the ticket things out, that's actually, I don't know. I'll talk to Josie about it. Who knows? Maybe there's a way that you can do it. The key, though, is to be on Josie's advanced list. Because there's a very select little group of hardcore fans that have been there since the beginning. And she gives them like a 5-minute head start on the main mailing. So if you're on her love list, then you get at least a 5-minute jump on them, everybody else.
We've never actually done that.
Yeah, because you come out and I just
you've taken care of us.
That's right. You haven't had to deal with that.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Evidently, it's difficult to get through. It's hard to get through. But they do a good job. For Amanda and Josie do a good job of trying to make sure that the hardcore fans continue to sort of have a way to be there, and that if somebody is coming from like another country, she usually tries
the Russians.
Yeah, and
it's all coming together.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man,
who knows?
It is coming together. The Russians went to Lucha Underground before Trump ran for president. Trump there?
What's the link between?
You're the link, bro. You're the linchpin here.
Yeah.
We've taken this too far.
Yeah, this is now violating my non-disclosure agreements. There is no connection between the Russians and Lucha Underground. I can pretty much guarantee you that.
What about the social media team? I've heard some people talking about the social media team.
We just lost Yoni.
Yeah, he was the man.
Yoni was great.
Hey, I was there at one time and he was like, "Hey, who is this guy? And I was like, he asked me a certain person, I don't want to name drop, but he had been posting the links to like illegal streams.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, it's this guy right here. And I turned him in, and like Yanni had a closed door with him.
You stooged him
I
out.
stooged him, man. But that was a good one, right? You know, some are bad, some are good. That was a good stooge, right? I did good.
Yeah, Yoni got his green card, and
then
he wanted to go back to Israel and visit his family. So I think he's going to do some other stuff, and we have a new person in charge. I don't know if I'm allowed to even say who it is, because I think he would get.
It's DJ.
No, it's not DJ.
You
guys might know him. You actually might know him. He was going to the temple a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm allowed to say it or not. I don't know if they want him getting hassled or whatnot. But maybe wait until they make the announcement within the company. But yeah, we have a new social media guy, and he somebody I've known for a long time, and he knows the show very well. Yeah, so he's great. Right?
Good. Whatever.
What?
I've heard some critiques of him. I don't know.
Oh, the new guy?
Yeah, the new guy.
What are they? Let's talk about it.
I've heard stuff about the lack of the gifts. They used to do the gifts.
Oh yeah,
that's
I've heard that one too.
Yeah, and then just some other things too, like not promoting certain things, like merch coming out soon. Not promoting that enough.
Yeah.
And the Netflix stuff, just stuff from other people. I see other people say things. I don't really critique. I'm not doing as much. I'm pretty busy. Like, I've been working a lot. Got a house now.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a little positive criticism,
Yeah, exactly.
Some things Yoni was far from perfect the first season. I remember I used to tell DJ, just stop yelling at Yoni. He can't take it. You're crushing him.
I think DJ could be a rough guy if he got upset.
Oh, when he gets mad, like, it's hilarious. If you go in the control room and something goes wrong, he's just screaming and yelling and cussing and whatever. So sometimes when I'm giving tours and whatnot, I'm always like, all right, DJ, keep it together. We've got MGM people here today.
His Twitter got hacked one day.
What was that?
I don't know. I texted him. I was like, yo, bro, your Twitter just got hacked. There's boobs all over the place.
Yeah, well, it's probably from his own private collection. Maybe.
Yeah.
No, I think I did see that. Yeah,
that was crazy though, man.
You have another beer?
We're having beer break.
Beer break.
We're gonna segue into some other stuff now, I guess. Slide into some.
See if there might be. Those might not be too cold yet. So
The green ones?
the whatever the Sweetwater, the new Sweetwaters are okay.
Warm.
Do you?
Yeah. We were actually talking about that too. That's funny. Yeah, I like them warm, man. Doesn't bother me none.
All right.
Tastes better warm.
So they can get more of the flavors that way.
It's probably because I've been smoking cigarettes for so fucking long, but
All his taste buds are dead.
yeah, all jammed
I
up.
don't smoke cigarettes, man. You need to cut it out.
I probably do. Not gonna do it. Yeah.
You guys should make a Lucha Click shirt.
Yeah, you know what? I still think the best Lucha Click shirt is the one that
You never got.
that I never fucking got.
That's us. That's
from
our fault.
Butcher, right?
I'm gonna use some of Byron's extra New Japan ticket money to buy you.
I gotta go buy one. I gotta.
Who did that go to?
What, Byron's ticket money?
No, we know where that went, but the t-shirt. I thought we had one.
I gotta get one of those. The Pinche Rudo one. That's a good one. You guys have those?
Yeah, we have them on the site. We don't have any I don't even have a Last Real Hill shirt. I don't believe in the brand. I don't wear that shit.
No, he owns the LRH Converse.
No, the guy that y'all got those Converse from was Vegas Canuck.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I got a pair of Last Real Hills Converse made.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that's something I did. But yeah, man, that's a lot of Lucha Underground talk. That's some positive info. We're gonna go into some other stuff. Talk about a little bit of Celebrity Apprentice.
Oh man.
What was
It's crazy. The President of the United States tweeting about your show. That's bizarre.
Yeah, tweet more about that than equal rights and stuff. He's more concerned with your ratings.
He's like blasting Obama for wiretapping him, and a couple days earlier he's yelling at Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's kind of.
What is that like, man, to have the president-elect talking about your TV show?
President.
Well, it was his TV show
Yeah,
first,
yeah.
So I guess and he's you know, he's still listed as an executive producer on that show.
Yeah.
So that's not usually what an executive producer of a show does. Is pick on your own show.
Yeah.
But you know, look, for some reason he and Arnold don't seem to be getting along well lately, and it's really because Arnold didn't endorse him, and he doesn't take those snubs very well. You know,
I think if him and Arnold got in a fist fight, I think Arnold would win.
I think Arnold would win too. I mean, Arnold's actually surprisingly a lot smaller than him, but Arnold works out every
He's talking
day.
about this way, right?
No, like height wise and and weight
Trump is
wise.
pretty huge, man.
No, he's like, I think people are when people are always shocked when they see him in person. The first thing they always say is, "I had no idea he was that big." And he is. He's like a big barrel-chested guy. He's probably like 6'3". And
The camera always looking down on him.
You know,
I would
he's
say
huge.
like 280 pounds or something like
Yeah.
that. He's big dude.
Moth is huge too.
Who is
Moth. The
Moth?
Moth.
Marty.
Moth.
Oh yeah.
He's huge, man.
And Marty got huge because he used to not. When I put
Yeah,
him,
he used to be like real
when I worked
svelte
with
when
him
he
on
was
Tough
Tough
Enough, he was only like 180 pounds. You know,
He's huge now, man.
he worked really hard to get that size on him. I mean, you know, he just lived in the gym and you know eats, and he's got that sort of big old school wrestling build.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, I love that. Like him and Cobb, like I saw them walking together one day, and like they're just so fucking big. It was like the Twin Towers walking down the street.
Cobb has that freakish man strength. You know,
He's killing it all over the world.
I know he's doing great. You know, and
We segue back to wrestling. Sorry, that's
yeah, we
my-
went
that's
back to
my bad.
wrestling.
I don't even know what we were talking
But we were talking about Trump,
before.
man. Him a barrel chested, 280, 6'3".
Oh.
Yeah, he's big. He's a big dude. But I think
So
Arnold
get him
works
in the
out.
shins
Arnold
first.
works out every day and is got probably a lot more muscle, and so Arnold takes him in a fight. I think.
I think so too, man.
Let's get it. MMA fight right now.
What happened with
President
Chael?
versus the Terminator? Come on,
He's gonna get terminated.
dude. Trump would have to do that.
He'd
It's
call him
money.
Putin. He'd call him Putin. He'd ride in on his horses.
Yeah, the fake news, huh?
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about the Chael Sonnen, man. Did he throw the Apprentice? Did he throw it, man? Is that what you?
Yeah. Did you throw that phone?
Yeah, I mean, what did you do? I mean, when he went out on the show or the fight afterwards?
I didn't watch it. I didn't see him go out. I saw him win the. Who's the rich? You think I would know his name? The rich motherfucker.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah. He was on the show. I can't remember.
Rich one?
The rich one. The rich guy. Money dude.
Warren Buffett.
Yes, that guy. Sorry, I
Warren
couldn't
Buffett.
remember his name. I was gonna say Jimmy Buffett, but that's not right
Yeah,
at
that's
all.
his name. I think it's spelled differently.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got to go meet Warren Buffett, and then he ended up leaving or getting fired for cheating. I don't know if you saw the end of that.
What Chael, man? He's getting flagged, man.
Chael. I'll
likes
tell you
to
this
keep his
about
hands dirty.
Chael is the closest thing to a professional wrestler that exists outside of professional wrestling. I mean, and he is a fan. You know, he knows. He loves, like he told me, he said, I just love the business of wrestling. He's like, I love, you know, the characters and the promo work, and you know, he draws a lot from what he does. Like, you know, if you see those like press conferences and stuff where he goes, it's a wrestling promo is all it is.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
it's pretty much all it is, and he understands that, and I think he's a great character. And you know, look, when he had that fight with Tito, he won every press conference and interview and whatever he won, but when he came out and I sort of saw his build, I thought, you know, he does not look sharp.
Tito's huge, man, for like him to
Yeah.
be fighting him. Like they have weight divisions now for a reason because everybody has skill now. You know, back in the
Yeah.
day, it was really like, you know, this guy has this one skill and this guy has this one skill. This guy's huge, but you know.
I
we're gonna
remember,
see what the skill
in the
compares.
'90s, I used to watch all the early Ultimate or UFC events, and I think they had like a David versus Goliath tournament once, and like one of the first. Anyway, so they were purposely matching for mismatches, you know,
Yeah.
and size wise. And I remember that being incredibly compelling, and it was actually really good It was a fun to watch. A lot of people, if I remember right, a lot of people got hurt in it, but I think a small guy won. I don't think it was one of the big guys that won.
Yeah.
But that was like the old school, Paul Varlin's days and Dan Severn and,
the polar bear, dude.
I hated that guy.
Supposedly, the only reason why this is WWE, like wrestling jump, but you remember he went to ECW? Do you remember that?
Did he?
Yeah, he went to ECW and got choked out by Taz on TV because I forgot who it was. I think it may have been Francine, maybe it was somebody else, but said they were gonna blow him.
What?
If he did the job to Taz, that's some like scandal sheet stuff.
Oh,
You
wow.
can find out there on the internet, and I don't know if it's true or not, but.
Paul Varlin's.
The polar bear, wasn't that his name?
Wasn't that his name? He had that kind of like buzz cut, haircut, and he was a big barrel-chested dude, about 6'8" or something like that.
Yeah, he was huge.
Yeah, he was
huge.
Somebody used to kick he had a fight where someone kicked the shit out of his leg, like it was purple. I don't remember who it was. I think it was, I don't know. I'm
drawing a blank on it.
Exactly.
I think he fought Chemo Leopoldo once, the dude that came out with the cross.
That was Joe Sando. Oh yeah, it was Chemo.
Yeah.
He's dead now. Chemo died, and Joe San is in prison for rape or something like that.
Like it was like an aggravated rape, like 20, like sodomy and all kinds of stuff. Just lots of charges.
They used to bring like the big cross out on the.
He was the one that got punched in the groin by Keith Hackney.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I watched that one live too.
Ow.
But so I guess Celebrity Apprentice, though, you think it's canned? It's canned now?
I would be shocked if at this point it came back. I think it has too much baggage. I mean, it's a valuable property to MGM, and it's a valuable property for NBC. But I don't think anybody's going to look at bringing it back for a while. If ever. I sort of think it's probably run its course. There's all TV shows eventually get canceled, and it wouldn't surprise me if we never saw it again.
Until Trump's out of office.
Yeah, until Trump's out. If he gives you the call when he's out of office,
I'm done with it. To be honest, yeah.
You think he goes 4 or 8 years?
I don't think he goes 4.
Yeah.
I'll take the under.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I just think that he's making some big mistakes as he's gone, and doesn't own his mistakes. Never really has been good at that. And one of these things is probably going to just be a bigger mistake than Congress will let him get away with.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to make a lot of mistakes, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to go to these listener questions real quick.
Okay.
Oh, I got the whole list over here.
You got the whole list?
Yeah, right.
I pulled them up, bro. I got them, man. We got to talk about this DJ one real quick, this controversy.
What's he saying? What did he say now?
He said he got kayfabed about a Sweetwater koozie.
Oh, you didn't give DJ the Sweetwater koozie?
Bullshit, I gave it to him.
He's lying.
He's wasted.
He's wasted.
He's LRH interview wasted.
Yeah.
I kept one for myself, but I did give DJ one. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, we got that cleared up. You're going to have to hit him with the DM on that one.
Yeah, you're going to have to.
Yeah, you're going to have to. We got one from the Healthy Movement. He says, if LU were to have a unique signature beer, what would it be called?
I think you got to go like the Lucha Lager or the Puma Pilsner or the.
There you go.
Or, you got to. We actually were talking to one of these LA microbrews about doing some Lucha Underground beers that we would serve at the temple. Small orders and stuff like that.
That's a money idea.
The dark beer would have to be something with Mil Muertes.
Or what about Pentagon Dark?
Or Pentagon.
Oh yeah.
It could be 2.
Yeah.
I think Death.
One
Pentagon Dark does kind of sound like a beer already a little bit.
One could be a stout, one could be a porter.
No, Mil Muertes would have to be at least.
At least.
I was thinking oh man, can they make a fucking like double IPA crossover with a stout?
I think they can.
They need to do it.
Y'all should do that though. Y'all should get on that.
I think it's a good idea. I would like that. But.
Here's another one from El Mundo Libre. He's very active in the Lucha Underground community. He wants to know.
Mundo Libre. Keep on rocking in the free world.
Yeah, he wants to know what other names were in mind before settling on the name Lucha Underground.
That's a good question. There were a bunch.
Subterranean lucha like Matt.
No,
Hardy
it was
said?
like, but you know, it's really hard because to get a copyright, you know, there can't really be anything that competes with it. And when you get something in Spanish, the way that they copyright it in America is they translate the word, and you have to be able to copyright the English version of it too. So we had to copyright Lucha Underground, but then we also had to copyright, you know, Wrestle Underground, or you know, whatever it is. And so Fight Underground. So when you try to copyright that makes it a little harder. And so we did go through some other things. I think there was like, I think at one time we were talking about like Lucha Revolution or Lucha Evolution. There was like a bunch kind of in that. We knew we wanted a Spanish word and an English word, and so we had to kind of we played with a lot of things, but Lucha Underground was one of the first probably 3 choices that we had.
Oh yeah. You know, I mean, it definitely means that was one of the things that was sticking out at the beginning. So you know.
But good question, Mundo Libre, Mundo Libre.
We have one from Boo Raka, which we've already covered this though. It was what's the status for season 4? You know.
Just hoping to get a press announcement soon, but we're all very positive about it.
We have Tuxedo Mask, and he's talking about live events. We've also kind of covered that, and you were talking about Dorian.
And I also think that one of the things that we're looking to do in the future, and this is sort of what Vampiro's been brought in to do, is that we want to be able to let our IP characters work as the IP characters. So you can book Mil Muertes instead of Ricky Banderas, and you can get Matanza if you want instead of Jeff Cobb, and he can come with the mask, the Matanza mask, and the work suit and the coveralls, and we'll get, and then you can have his walkout music, and that will also actually help promote it on the Lucha Underground site. So any independent bookers that are looking for IP characters from Lucha Underground, that system is being put in place right now, and we should be able to do that.
I actually saw this press release earlier today talking about that.
It came out today.
Yeah, I think it allowing use of characters in the
good. Okay, then I can talk about it. Okay, because I was just sitting here thinking, shit, am I supposed to talk about this?
Yeah, I don't. It's on solowrestling.com. I don't know if that's a dirt sheet or what.
That's accurate.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I have to read what I shouldn't say it's accurate.
It's in Spanish. This
okay.
is. But yeah, and it has a picture of the Vampiro Underground invasion for the Lucha Toronto. He's having Son of Havoc there, and Drago and Mac, and
and they're going to have their walkout music. They're going to have their costumes. The mask, obviously, and they'll be able to work as those gimmicks, which those guys haven't been able to do up till now.
Mil Muertes is going to make a killing, man.
I think so, and he's the one I'm actually really happy for on this, because it's like him being able to go out and be Mil Muertes is a big deal. And now if he can also get Katrina to show up, then that'll sell some tickets. So I think that those two will probably be real popular to book from here on out.
We have Ba Lucha, another very active member.
Yep.
They're in Japan. They're the leader of Lucha Clique. De Japón, yeah. They're the leader.
That's good. Come on out to LA and
the Angelico fan page is also ran by someone in Japan. I just found this out recently.
They love him in Japan, I'm sure, huh?
This fan page is very huge fan.
Really?
Yes, I'm talking about very, very huge fan. Several DMs a day about Angelico.
Really?
Yeah. But yeah, how would Balucha says, how would you describe the second half of season 3 in one word?
Ooh, violent.
Nice.
Were you guys there for Ultima Lucha 3?
Yeah. I've been to all Ultima Luchas. I've been to every single one of them.
So I don't need to tell you, and it's not a spoiler when I say it was very, very, very violent.
Lots of blood.
Man. That was over.
That was the most packed Ultima Lucha, man. The heels probably won't even be on camera for that one.
That was a full house. Yeah, I remember that. Like,
Yeah, that
was
was
rough.
so
we
many
crammed them
people
in there.
Yeah.
We just tried to cram them in there.
Yeah, we were still on the floor, but we were like in the back next to the
I mean,
camera.
it's hard, you want to try and get as many people as you can in there, and ultimately sometimes you have to turn people away, and it's tricky because we don't charge for tickets, but when people RSVP, we have to. When people are RSVP, we have to overbook. So like it may seat 450, but we'll tell 400 or 525 people yes, okay, knowing that 75 people will likely fall out. That's kind of the ratio that we do. But I think for that one we had like less than 20 no-shows, and so all the overbooking was somebody was going to get screwed, and some people did, and it was really unfortunate. We tried to offer them like tickets and guaranteed tickets or VIP tickets for the next taping or whatever.
And
but
we
it
are offering
sucked.
like
It totally
tours of the
sucked.
temple and pictures and stuff.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. We did that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did little
at the
tours.
very, very beginning. We might have more in-depth tour than others, man. We were backstage deep.
Yeah, that's right. I let you guys
been on the roof of the temple. I've been on the roof of the temple.
You got to go to the green room, and nobody ever gets to do that in the tour.
I've been on the
very few
roof,
people.
man.
Oh, I have too. Yeah, that's.
What tour?
I've been on the roof like 3 times.
Really?
I've never been on the roof.
That was for the
Secrets.
rap party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
secrets right there.
Stuff goes on up there. I wouldn't trust that roof, to be honest.
I wouldn't either. That place is.
Yeah, it's dangerous, man. One more question here we got from Justin Harvey, 75.
Justin,
You know
my
that?
man.
I think you know that guy.
Yep.
He asked what's your favorite Lucha Underground storyline of all time. It's crazy he asked what your favorite is, and I asked what your moment you wanted to change
Yeah, it's
was.
changed.
It's the direct opposites right there. And then why hasn't Mayhem Miller showed up yet?
I do want Jason to do something. He just has to get his it's funny. Jason and I have been friends for like 8 or 9 years since the old Bully Beatdown days. That guy's a talented performer. I think he actually would make a good character. He's just got a little erratic sometimes, and you have to catch him. He's Mayhem. That's his gimmick, and he lives the gimmick. And but I actually brought him in to audition for a part on season 3. And he didn't get it. He wasn't quite right for it, but I did bring him in for an audition on something, and I think the right thing might come. If we wrote something and he auditioned and he was good, and we felt like he would show up on time every day, then absolutely, I'd love to work with Jason again. He's great.
Man, I always thought that Jason was, he had such a persona for an MMA fighter before, they really even had them.
Yeah, when I said Chael Sonnen is the closest, I should have qualified it and said Jason Miller probably is the only one that gives him any run in that.
You need to get Chael out there.
I think Chael has a deal with Jeff Jarrett. I thought he did.
They did at one point, but I don't even.
Chael told me that Jeff Jarrett had brought him out when they were talking about making him a commentator for the Jeff Jarrett's promotion, but I guess that
the
promotion
GFW.
Global Force. Is that gone? Is it?
I don't. He tags it every damn day on Twitter.
I think
whenever
it's still around somehow.
I think he's just
They
probably
never
using it
even-
to embezzle money.
They never even showed up on TV.
But
did
that's a J-Man. You didn't say it.
I did not. I say nothing. Yeah.
He's just embezzling
I'm just
money.
gonna have to beep you out again. God, that's a lot of work. You know how much work that is?
Hey, man.
I would like to be indemnified for this podcast, please.
There we go.
But both those guys, Chael and Jason, would be fun to have on the show.
All right, I think that was all the listener questions. What about Conor McGregor? I'm gonna go with some quick J-Man questions. Conor McGregor, man, he's got that personality. What do you think about him and Floyd?
I don't think we can afford it.
No, I'm not talking about Brandon. What do you think about him and Floyd?
Yeah. I mean, in a boxing match, that's ridiculous.
You think it's gonna happen though?
I've said no all along, saying there's no possible way. Why would anyone let him do it? Why? And I don't know what I have no idea what his contract is with UFC. But if you're UFC and you have any ability to veto that, why wouldn't you? I mean, that's basically taking your biggest star and you're putting him in a sport where he's not as talented. He's gonna lose.
Yeah.
And then that you always have that age-old question since the beginning of MMA: who would win in a fight? Mike Tyson or. If it's a real fight, the MMA guy's going to win. If it's a boxing match, the boxing match is going to win. The
Yeah,
boxers
exactly.
can
Depends
win.
on the rules.
I don't even see how they're going to get an athletic commission to sanction it because he's never had a boxing match.
Yeah, exactly.
If they did like an exhibition
well,
or
this is
something.
one thing I know about commissions. You can find a commission that will sanction something.
Yeah.
It may not be the California Commission. It may not be the Nevada Commission, but you can find a commission that would probably make that fight happen.
Hell yeah. Well, that's the.
I don't think it's going to though. I think it's. I mean, look, it's a lot of money, and I don't think I would buy that fight though. I think it would be silly. I mean, I think
It'd
I
be
would
so
buy
short.
it. I would buy it.
Why?
I don't see it
You
being
just
short. I
wait
see
for
it.
the gifts to pop up on Twitter.
I don't see it being
But
short.
you guys know Floyd wouldn't go knock him out in 1 minute. He'd carry him through.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's how you'd see Floyd just.
Floyd
pitter-pattering
doesn't.
for
Floyd
12
doesn't.
rounds.
Floyd is fine not getting hit. You know,
Yeah.
Floyd is completely fine delivering a boring fight. You know, I mean,
He
he's
doesn't
a
give a
super
shit.
skilled guy. He's the most skilled boxer that I've ever seen. But he's. I wouldn't. You know, he's more of a skilled, beautiful boxer. He's less of a fighter, like a
Yeah.
badass fighter.
Yeah.
You know, so he's fine winning decisions, and that's why he has a long career, and that's why he still has a lot of brain cells, I guess. But
You think McGregor would get him fired up?
I don't know. I think Conor would just get frustrated as
You
fuck.
think he would taunt him? I mean, like,
The only
I
thing
feel like he
the
would try to
only-
go cock strong and fucking.
The only thing Conor's got for him is Floyd is getting old. You know, Sugar Shane Mosley tagged him in their fight. They had a couple fights ago. You know, and he's kind of older too. So, you know, and Conor's like in the literal prime peak of his life. So,
and Connor had that video of him fighting that guy who's a good fighter. Was Chris Van Heerden? Is that his name? The South African kid. That's who he was sparring in that video. And that he's a real fighter. He's a top 10 guy. In fact, I think he actually has a title shot coming. I want to get his name right. But he's a really good guy. I see him. He actually works out at the boxing gym near our office in Santa Monica, and that guy's the real deal. But he was kind of handling Conor in their sparring, you know, and he's not at the level where Floyd is. So
that's not a good sign.
yeah, that's not a good sign.
I guess the only other real fight I want to ask about is the DC and Anthony Johnson. You know, I know you're close to DC.
I worked with Dan on Bully Beatdown, and I've always been a fan. You know, he's a two-time Olympic wrestler. You know, I love the American wrestlers in the MMA. That's all. I always support those guys. You know, but remember that punch that Rumble caught him with.
Scary.
He has that kind of power, and whereas if it goes the distance, I think you give it the edge to DC, but he's got a punch. Rumble's got a puncher's chance at any moment. He could stop that fight, and
That's true.
that fight I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I am too, man. And do you think John Jones ever comes back?
They all come back. It's about what
You think he'll be in form?
They think Mike Tyson was going to come back, or Evander Holyfield was going to come back, or all those times he came back, or Sugar Ray Leonard. They always all come back.
You think he'll be in form?
That I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, he's clearly going to have to stay as natural as possible.
Keep his
And
nose
whether
clean.
he can do that or not, I don't know. Some people psychologically, when they take certain things away from him, they're never the same. But I mean, look, nobody's really beaten him. You know, so until somebody beats him, I think, he's always got to be in the discussion.
Yeah, he's not even really anyone's ever even came close, really.
Right.
So
That one guy, what was his name?
Gustafsson.
Yeah,
It was
a
close
badass
to
fight. I
one,
love that
but,
fight. Yeah, that was one of my favorite fights ever. That was so good.
Two lanky dudes just bashing each other.
That's about the closest.
But you got any other final questions, Urban, before we hit our final send-off?
I'm good, man.
You're good?
I'm good.
I'm just glad that you guys came out here to hang out. I get to hang out in Tennessee with the Heels on the podcast. I feel like I have arrived. This is a great. I'm in Nashville, and this is a great city. So much fun. I'm a little hungover.
Apparently, you said there was a party out here.
There's a few.
I didn't see any.
Yeah, I'm looking around. I don't see
I saw somebody walking their dog.
You got to just go into town a little bit. Any one of those bars, you'll be just fine.
But yeah, man, I guess, thank you for coming on. We always enjoy it. We'll
You
have
guys
to do
are
it again soon.
original Lucha Click members, and always were so supportive. And I didn't think we'd ever be here, talking about season 4, but I'm glad we are, and I'm glad you guys have hung around.
We're here.
I'm here. I'm dead.
Is there a number of seasons planned, or is it just going to go as...
No, we'll go season to season, but I mean, but we can, I think that because we have so many storylines that are all going simultaneously, we can plan to end certain storylines, once and for all, make them more final.
Yeah.
But we're having fun, and all credit to Chris and Stolman. They really know what they're doing, and they enjoy kind of the long-term storytelling, and they've got ideas, and now they've had a nice long, like 6 months off, 7 months, 8 months off to recharge and come up with some new stuff. So I know kind of where the storylines are headed, but we haven't written any script yet. So but those guys are planning it, even if it's just hanging out in a bar and talking about ideas and getting drunk. That's what Chris like to do.
Well, yeah.
Tell Stallman he owes us an interview.
Stolman, yeah, he's a mystery. Stolman.
Yeah, you tell Stolman, like Marty Elias, this guy wasn't doing interviews, and then he started doing interviews all over the place. And the Hills were like, man, our dicks got broke off, because we asked him like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah,
and the Hills were heartbroken.
He just started doing them. Yeah,
we went through a couple transformations, and changed a few times, died a few times.
Yeah, he's
all you have to do is give him a memo. Just give him. He said, "Here's what he said: You show up to Ultima Lucha Trace, and I'll give you an interview." Or Stolman hid everywhere. I mean, fucking.
Oh, you're talking about Stolman, yeah.
Yeah, no, he doesn't really have it. You don't think he has any social media or anything?
He's got a fake. He's got a fake account. I'm pretty sure.
Does he?
I don't know. I'm starting to think he does. And he's just trolling Twitter.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
He seems like the guy. But yeah, I guess that's a wrap, man.
Is it a wrap?
Pro Wrestling Tees, LRH. Buy that shit.
Is it LRH?
I don't know what it is anymore.
Who cares? I don't care.
It's done.